She was 28 years old when her tiny house company hit $12 million in annual revenue. Most people thought she was crazy for leaving a stable job. She knew something they didn't. For 4 years, she had been studying every mistake her boss made, every lost client, every design flaw, every operational failure. She took notes, she saved every dollar, and when she finally quit, she didn't just start a company, she built a better version of the one she left. This is how a $47,000 per year employee became the owner of a multi-million-dollar tiny house empire, and the exact system she used that you can copy in any industry. Her name was Maya Torres, and at 24, she was stuck in a job that was slowly killing her spirit. She worked for Cascade Tiny Homes, a tiny house construction company in Portland, Oregon. Her title was Project Coordinator. Her salary was $47,000 per year. Her job was to manage builds, coordinate with clients, handle logistics, and basically keep the entire operation running while her boss, Derek, took all the credit and all the profit. Maya didn't go to architecture school. She didn't study business. She had a degree in environmental science from a state college and stumbled into the tiny house industry because she believed in sustainable living. She loved the concept. Homes under 400 square feet, minimal environmental impact, financial freedom from massive mortgages, mobility, and flexibility. It felt meaningful, but working at Cascade Tiny Homes was destroying that dream. Derek, the owner, was charismatic but incompetent. He was great at sales, terrible at execution. He overpromised to clients, underdelivered on quality, ignored feedback, and burned through employees. Maya watched it all, and instead of complaining, she started documenting every mistake, every client complaint, every design flaw, every supply chain disaster. She kept a private journal, not for revenge, for education. But here's what nobody knew, and I'll tell you exactly what she discovered in Minute 8 that changed everything. Maya had a plan, a 4-year plan. She would work for Derek, learn everything about the business, save every dollar she could, and then leave to build a competitor that would make his company look like a joke. Year 1. Observation. Maya's first year at Cascade was brutal. She was paid $43,000, barely enough to survive in Portland. She lived in a tiny 300-square-foot apartment, took the bus to work, cooked every meal at home. She saved 40% of her income, roughly $17,200 that first year. But more importantly, she observed, she watched Derek make the same mistakes over and over. Mistake 1, no standardized design process. Every tiny house was completely custom with zero repeatability. This meant every build took 4 to 6 months, costs were unpredictable, and quality was inconsistent. Mistake 2, terrible client communication. Derek would promise features, miss deadlines, and then ghost clients when problems arose. Maya was the one fielding angry phone calls and trying to salvage relationships. Mistake 3, cheap materials to maximize profit. Derek cut corners everywhere. Low-grade insulation, builder-grade fixtures, flimsy cabinetry. Clients would move in, and within 6 months, things would break. Mistake 4, no systems for scaling. Everything was chaotic. No project management software, no inventory tracking, no standardized timelines. It was pure chaos. Maya took notes on all of it, but she didn't just criticize. She asked herself, how would I do this differently? Year 2, learning the craft. By year 2, Maya had been promoted to senior project manager, salary bumped to $47,000. Still criminally underpaid, but she didn't care about the title. She cared about access. Now she was involved in every aspect of the business: client consultations, design meetings, supplier negotiations, construction oversight, final walkthroughs. She was learning the entire value chain, and she started developing her own philosophy. Philosophy 1. Create tiered, standardized designs with customization options. Instead of building every house from scratch, offer 3 core models that clients can personalize. Philosophy 2. Over-communicate with clients. Weekly updates, photo documentation, clear timelines, manage expectations obsessively. Philosophy 3. Use premium materials and charge accordingly. Stop competing on price. Compete on quality and experience. Philosophy 4. Build systems that allow scaling. Use project management software, create checklists, document every process. Maya tested these ideas quietly. Whenever Derek let her take the lead on a project, she would implement her systems. And guess what happened? Those projects finished on time, clients were happier, and costs were actually lower because there were fewer mistakes. But Derek never noticed. He was too busy chasing the next sale. Maya kept saving. That year, she saved another $18,000. Total savings now, $35,200. Year 3, strategic planning. By year 3, Maya wasn't just learning, she was strategizing. She knew she would eventually leave, but she needed to do it right. She started researching. Market analysis. Who were Cascade's customers? Mostly millennials and Gen Z, ages 28 to 45, environmentally conscious, valued experiences over possessions, wanted financial freedom, average budget $60,000 to $120,000. Competitor analysis. Who else was building tiny houses in the Pacific Northwest? 12 other companies, but most were small hobbyist operations or overpriced luxury builders. Supplier research. Maya started building relationships with material suppliers, lumber yards, hardware vendors, appliance distributors. She wasn't ordering yet, just networking. Legal and financial prep. Maya consulted with a small business attorney, learned about LLC formation, contracts, liability insurance. She opened a separate business savings account. That year, she saved $19,000. Total savings, $54,200. But here's the critical moment, and this is what set everything in motion. In month 34 of working at Cascade, Derek lost his biggest client, a client who had paid a $30,000 deposit for a custom build. Derek had missed the deadline by 5 months, used substandard materials, and refused to fix obvious defects. The client sued. Cascade settled for $45,000. The company almost went bankrupt. Maya watched Derek blame everyone but himself, and she realized something. This company is going to fail, and when it does, there will be a vacuum in the market. That's when she made her decision. She would leave in 6 months. Year 4, preparation and exit. Maya spent the first 3 months of year 4 preparing in secret. She finalized her business plan, created detailed financial projections, designed her 3 core tiny house models, built a list of 47 potential clients from Cascade's inquiry database, people who had contacted Cascade but never bought, secured a small workshop space, 1,200 square feet, $1,400 per month, met with her attorney and officially formed Torres Tiny Homes, LLC. In month 4, Maya gave her notice. Derek's reaction? He laughed. He actually laughed. "You're going to compete with me? Good luck. You'll be back here begging for your job in 6 months." Maya smiled, said nothing, and walked out. She had $61,000 in savings, no investors, no loans, just 4 years of knowledge and a plan. Now here's where most people think the story gets easy. It doesn't. The first 6 months were hell. Phase 1, building credibility from zero. Maya didn't have a portfolio. Every house she had ever built belonged to Cascade. She couldn't use those photos, so she made a decision. She would build her first tiny house on spec. No client. Just build it, document everything, and use it as her showcase model. She spent $38,000 building that first house. It was a 280-square-foot modern minimalist design. Vertical cedar siding, black metal roof, floor-to-ceiling windows, fold-down desk and Murphy bed, full kitchen with stainless appliances, luxury bathroom with rainfall shower, smart home technology integrated, solar panels on the roof. It took her 8 weeks working 14-hour days, 7 days a week. She hired 2 part-time carpenters to help with framing. She did all the design, project management, and finishing work herself. When it was done, it was stunning. She listed it for sale at $72,000. It sold in 11 days. Profit after all costs, $34,000. But more importantly, She now had professional photos, a proven design, and a testimonial from a happy client. Phase 2, the marketing strategy. Maya knew she couldn't outspend competitors on advertising, so she focused on organic growth. She created an Instagram account, Torres Tiny Homes, and posted daily. Behind-the-scenes build content, design philosophy posts, client testimonials, sustainability education, tiny house lifestyle inspiration. She started a YouTube channel documenting her builds, full transparency, costs, challenges, design decisions. She joined tiny house Facebook groups and offered free advice, never spamming, just being genuinely helpful. She attended tiny house festivals and home shows in Oregon, Washington, and Northern California. Within 3 months, she had 8,000 Instagram followers and 3,200 YouTube subscribers. More importantly, she had a waiting list of 14 potential clients. Phase 3, the productized service model. Remember Maya's philosophy? Standardized designs with customization options. She launched 3 core models. The minimalist, 240 square feet, $68,000 base price, 6-week build time, modern, clean, efficient. The Explorer, 320 square feet, $89,000 base price, 8-week build time, adventure-ready with extra storage. The Sanctuary, 380 square feet, $112,000 base price, 10-week build time, luxury finishes, maximum comfort. Clients could customize exterior colors, interior finishes, appliance packages, add-ons like solar or composting toilets, but the core structure and layout were fixed. This allowed Maya to order materials in bulk, create repeatable processes, predict costs and timelines accurately, deliver consistent quality. By month 9, Maya had completed 6 tiny houses. Revenue, $487,000. Costs, approximately $312,000. Profit, $175,000. She was already making more than 3 years of her old salary, but she wasn't satisfied. She wanted to scale. Phase 4, building the team. Maya hired her first employee, Jackson, a 31-year-old carpenter who had been working for a general contractor but wanted to specialize in tiny houses. Salary $55,000 plus 3% profit share on builds he led. 3 months later, she hired Sophie, a 26-year-old interior designer who understood sustainable living and could help clients visualize their spaces. Salary $52,000 plus commission on upgrades. Now, with 3 people, they could work on 2 builds simultaneously. Production doubled. Phase 5, client experience obsession. Remember how Derek ignored clients and caused problems? Maya did the opposite. Every client got a dedicated project manager, weekly video updates showing build progress, a private portal with photos, documents, and timelines, a detailed walkthrough before final delivery, a 2-year warranty on all workmanship, a tiny house living guide with maintenance tips, and community resources. Client satisfaction was 98%. Referral rate was 71%. Insane numbers for construction. Phase 6, strategic positioning. Maya made a critical decision. She would not compete on price. There were cheaper tiny house builders, but she would be the premium option, not luxury, but premium. The difference? Luxury is about excess. Premium is about excellence. Her messaging focused on craftsmanship over speed, quality materials that last, design that enhances life, sustainability that's real, not performative, a buying experience that's transparent and stress-free. And it worked. By the end of year 1, Torres Tiny Homes had completed 18 builds, generated $1.4 million in revenue, netted $420,000 in profit, and had a team of 5 people. Maya was 29 years old. But the real growth was about to begin. Year 2, scaling the empire. Maya reinvested every dollar of profit back into the business. She moved to a larger facility, 6,000 square feet with room for 4 simultaneous builds. She hired 6 more people, 3 carpenters, 1 electrician, 1 plumber, 1 full-time project manager. She invested in professional equipment, CNC router for precision cutting, spray booth for high-quality finishes, scaffolding and safety equipment. She implemented software systems, project management, Builder Trend, accounting, QuickBooks, CRM, HubSpot. And here's the move that changed everything. She started offering financing. Most tiny house buyers struggled to get loans because banks don't finance movable structures easily. Maya partnered with a credit union that specialized in alternative housing and created a financing program. Now clients could get approved for $70,000 to $120,000 loans with reasonable interest rates. This removed the biggest barrier to purchase. Sales exploded. Year 2 numbers: 47 builds completed, $4.2 million in revenue, $1.1 million in profit, 14 employees, 6-month waiting list. At 30 years old, Maya was a millionaire. But she still wasn't done. Year 3, the unfair advantages. Maya did 3 things that separated her from every competitor. 1, she launched a tiny house community development. She purchased 8 acres of land outside Portland and created a tiny house village, 24 lots with full utilities, shared community spaces. Residents owned their houses but leased the land. Monthly lease $450 per lot. This created recurring revenue for Maya, a showcase for potential buyers, a community of brand advocates. 2, she started a tiny house rental program. She built 6 tiny houses specifically for short-term rental and partnered with Airbnb hosts. She would build, the host would operate, and they'd split revenue 60-40. This generated passive income and marketing exposure. 3, she created an online course, Build Your Tiny House Business, teaching others how to start their own construction companies. Price $1,200. Over 400 students enrolled in the first year. Additional revenue $480,000 with almost zero overhead. Year 3 numbers: 67 custom builds completed, $7.8 million in build revenue, $1.2 million in land lease and rental revenue, $480,000 in course revenue. Total revenue $9.5 million. Net profit $2.8 million. 28 employees. At 31 years old, Maya had built what Derek never could: a real, scalable, profitable business. But the story gets even better. Remember Derek? Remember Cascade Tiny Homes? By year 3, they were bankrupt, officially out of business. Clients sued, employees quit, suppliers refused to work with them. And guess what happened? 9 of Derek's former clients contacted Maya to finish their builds. 4 of Derek's former employees applied to work for Torres Tiny Homes. And Derek himself, he reached out asking if Maya needed a salesperson. She politely declined. Year 4, the $12 million milestone. This year, Torres Tiny Homes is projected to hit $12 million in revenue. Here's the breakdown. 82 custom builds at average $95,000 each equals $7.79 million. Tiny house village land leases, 24 lots at $450 per month equals $129,600 annually. Rental program revenue share equals $680,000. Online course and consulting equals $710,000. Licensing deals: Maya licensed her designs to 3 builders in other states equals $340,000. Merchandise and tiny house accessories e-commerce equals $280,000. Total projected revenue, $12.02 million. Profit margin approximately 31%. Net profit projected $3.7 million. Team 34 employees. 2 locations, Portland and a new facility in Bend, Oregon. Waiting list 11 months. So what can you learn from Maya's story? Lesson 1. Document everything in your current job. Maya didn't waste her 4 years. She studied, learned, and documented every mistake her boss made. Application: wherever you work now, you're gathering intelligence. Pay attention. Lesson 2. Save aggressively while you prepare. Maya lived below her means and saved 40% of her income for 4 years. That $61,000 gave her runway to start without debt. Application: every dollar you save now is freedom you buy later. Lesson 3, don't just copy, improve. Maya didn't recreate Cascade tiny homes. She built the opposite. She fixed every flaw. Application: study your competitors and do what they won't. Lesson 4, productize your service. Maya's standardized models with customization options allowed her to scale without chaos. Application: repeatable systems beat custom chaos every time. Lesson 5, premium beats cheap. Maya charged more and delivered more value. Her customers were happier and more loyal. Application: race to the top, not the bottom. Lesson 6, obsess over client experience. Maya's 98% satisfaction and 71% referral rate became her growth engine. Application: happy customers are your best marketing. Lesson 7, diversify revenue intelligently. Maya didn't just build houses. She created land leases, rentals, courses, licensing. Multiple streams created stability. Application: one income source is risky. Build 3 to 5 revenue channels. Maya Torres didn't have an MBA. She didn't have rich parents funding her startup. She didn't have industry connections or a safety net. She had 4 things: patience, observation, strategic thinking, and relentless execution. At 24, she was a $47,000 per year employee. At 28, she quit and started from zero. At 31, she's running a $12 million tiny house empire. Her former boss? Out of business. His former clients? Her clients now. His former employees? Her team now. Maya's story isn't about tiny houses. It's about what happens when you stop accepting the life someone else designed for you and start building your own. You don't need permission. You don't need a perfect plan. You need observation, preparation, and the courage to walk away from comfort into uncertainty. Maya took her first step with $61,000 and 4 years of painful lessons. What's your first step? What job are you in right now that's teaching you how to build something better? A small step is the beginning of a big story.